What are the system and strategies you've put in place so far for your clients or for someone who is looking forward to getting a job?
Is to do it the unconventional way. People would always lie. People can really lie on their CV, and it's not something that you can easily dictate.
Majority of people believe LinkedIn is one of the most effective platforms for job seekers. How true is this, and what's your take on it?
LinkedIn cannot be the only platform. There are people getting jobs on Twitter, even Instagram, and even TikTok. But if you're going to be asking what is the most helpful platform, LinkedIn it is. Sometimes you don't even need to apply for these jobs before you get them. Recruiters could just see your page, love what you do, and then reach out to you by themselves and tell you, oh, we'd like you to work in our organization. We see what you do. People get carried away by numbers. The benchmark for you to say, okay, yes, I actually have made it in LinkedIn is more about your impact and your pocket. I'm saying this because a lot of times people feel like, oh, now I have 11,000 followers. I am a LinkedIn influencer. You're not an influencer until you can actually influence somebody to do something like.
So let's talk about remote work. Remote work has become the norm and people see it as freedom. Is that actually true?
Remote work is the future of work. I feel like remote work does it. So I can be here in my room and I'm earning in dollars, I'm earning in pounds, and I'm earning in euros. So why do I have to go over there?
How much have you made so far in your space?
On a monthly basis, I don't make anything less than.
Welcome to the Net Worth Tech and Wealth Podcast. Our mission is to simplify the complex, decode the difficulties, and open a world of tech-driven opportunities, all with the goal of boosting your career, your business, and your personal growth. If you're looking for a transformative conversation where we talk about tech, AI, and digital economy, you're definitely in the right place. From breaking down tech to its core essentials to revealing international work and travel insights, we've got you covered. I am Miriam Adegbola, your neighborhood tech guide and your host for this episode. Today we're going to be exploring an interesting topic: success in job hunting, remote and LinkedIn work. I'll be doing this with an amazing personality, a beautiful damsel right before me. She's a career development coach, an author, and a certified professional resume writer, and a beautiful lady at that. Without further ado, let's welcome Gabriel Fortune.
Hi everyone.
Hi Fortune, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, and you?
You're looking stunning. I love your makeup.
Oh, thank you. You too.
All right, let's just move into the discussion of today.
Yeah.
We are going to start with talking about LinkedIn. Majority of people believe LinkedIn is one of the most effective platforms for job seekers. How true is this, and what's your take on it?
Very true, actually. Very, very, very true. LinkedIn has to be the top 10 or top 5 best platform for job seekers because it has so many features, like so many numerous features that could help any job seeker, get every information they need concerning a job. So one very important thing or one very good advantage of LinkedIn is that it allows you to also market yourself as a skilled creative compared to other sites like Indeed, what's the other name? I think Jobberman. And no, Upwork doesn't necessarily. Upwork is just your gear for business, send proposals. But LinkedIn allows you build your brand beyond just you there seeking for jobs. It allows you build authority as a personal brand, and that alone is enough to even attract likely recruiters, hiring managers to you if you're looking out there for a job. So I feel like LinkedIn has so many features. If you're going to talk about the job aspect, whenever you're looking for a job on LinkedIn, you don't just see the job opening. It tells you who the hirer are, like who exactly is opening for this job. And you could even go as far as checking them out on their personal page, understanding how to speak to them, how to apply for the job, what exactly would be your key advantages, exactly like in regarding your skills. So there are some areas where to tell you, oh, you're a top participant, you're a top qualifier for this particular job, and then to tell you also the areas where you need to improve, or your skills are not displayed on your profile like this. And it's just it's very, very, very it's a platform rather that I would always recommend for job seekers. If you're looking out for jobs, LinkedIn is a good one for you.
But I feel to some extent, some people are so much, will I say, carry it on their head and be like, oh, that's the only platform. If you're looking for a job, just go to LinkedIn.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
LinkedIn cannot be the only platform. There are people getting jobs on Twitter, even Instagram, and even TikTok. But if you're going to be asking what is the most helpful platform, LinkedIn it is. Like LinkedIn it is. LinkedIn has helped so many people, like thousands of individuals, get jobs. And the beautiful thing about it is that sometimes you don't even need to apply for these jobs before you get them. Maybe that's why everybody's like LinkedIn native, because recruiters could just see your page, love what you do, and then reach out to you by themselves and tell you, oh, we'd like you to work in our organization. We see what you do. And maybe that's why it's overhyped. It's not even overhyped, if I would say. So yeah, maybe that's the reason why it's hyped the way it is.
Well, thank you for clearing that. Because a lot of people actually believe that LinkedIn is the just go to. Okay, let's talk about job opportunities. I think the level at which people underestimate the availability of job. It's quite alarming. And people, because of the economy, the current I'm not going to say problem, or the current situation of the economy, people believe that okay, it is not what you study you're going to eventually go
get a job
from here. Thank you very much. And they just underestimate the availability of job, and it feels like okay, there are no jobs out there, there are no jobs in Nigeria. So what's your take on that?
So the question exactly is that why do people overestimate or underestimate the availability of jobs? And are there really jobs out there?
Yeah.
Well, I would not exactly blame them, because in Nigeria there are still no jobs. When I need jobs that can pay your bills. So if you're saying jobs, especially for the level of effort you put into going into school. Imagine someone going to school for 4 years, 5 years, and you're coming out to get a job that pays you 40K. Like, what is that? Is that a job? Well, I mean, there are still jobs out there. So it's not like there are no jobs, and it's not an underestimation. But the thing is that are there good paying jobs in Nigeria? That's the question. Because more of these jobs that are paying well, you really do need connections. So that's the importance of building online, so that you don't need to depend on getting jobs within the region. You could get jobs remotely from foreign companies, and they're actually jobs. But are they good paying jobs in Nigeria? I'd say no, not really. Yeah, no, not really.
Really? So I think from my end, maybe in order to avoid situation like this, while you're focusing on your education, or you have a job per se, let's say 9-to-5 job that you are being paid 40,000 naira, maybe you can just look for a side also. What about that?
While you're schooling?
Yeah, or doing a 9-to-5 job.
I don't think it's so possible for everybody to balance that, because education in Nigeria is a lot. Let's just be honest. It's a lot to be a student. It's talk more of 9 to 5. And so that's why I feel like a whole lot remote work is the future of work, because not everybody can step out of their house being a student and then you want to start looking for a job, because you really will not balance it. One has to sit out one. So like I feel like remote work does it. So in that case, you can now have a remote work as a side hustle, but definitely not in 9 to 5, right?
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I think you just clarified that. I love the way you are just giving us back to back. All right. Okay. I've seen a lot of people take LinkedIn creators that okay, they are just there for the engagement, and people now believe that okay, once they are getting engagement and they build this perception that okay, I have made it on LinkedIn. So what's your take on LinkedIn engagement and how people view the terms of engagement? Okay, I have made it. What's your say concerning that?
Okay, so this question is a very, very tricky question and a very important one, because a lot of times people get carried away by numbers.
Yeah.
But I feel like the yardstick or the benchmark for you to say, okay, yes, I actually have made it in LinkedIn, is more about your impact and your pocket. So what impact have you made on people out there? It's not just by the numbers. So yes, people are engaging on your content, but have you really like impacted people that are on your followers list and engage on your content daily? And then is this impact also reflecting in your pocket? Because if you're going to say you're just out there, people like your posts, people engage in your posts, but you're in your one room and you're suffering. So exactly. So it's not just by the number or engagement you actually have. It's more about your impact. And then also in a way how this passion of yours or impact of yours is profitable to you. That's when I can say yes, you've actually made it. And I'm saying this because a lot of times people feel like, oh, now I have 11,000 followers. I am a LinkedIn influencer. You're not an influencer until you can actually influence somebody to do something, like to take an action. People will take actions because, oh, this person is I am asked me to do this, and so people feel like, I've gotten that. I've seen a lot of accounts on LinkedIn that have 15,000, 20,000, and I'm like, okay. Yes, you can't feel exactly. So it's just numbers for them. So it's a different thing when you've now made impact. That's when I can say, yes, you've made
it on both sides, both the following parts and the impactation.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, let's talk about CV, because I feel that's your area of specialization. So talk to us about CV writing, because there are lots of exaggeration concerning it. I think I was having discussion with someone of recent, and the person was saying, my CV if you should see my CV, it's about 2 pages and all that. I'm like, wait, I want to start from. The person saying, you just have to start, volunteer for things, put it in there, and you feel oppressed that, okay, I need to build. What's this CV writing about?
Well, your CV is literally your first the first impression your recruiters have about you. So it's very, very, very delicate and important document. It's not overrated. Let's just establish that fact. It is not overrated. It is very fundamental. It is very important. Every job opportunity will require your CV. And except it's coming from referrals. And some referrals or recommendations actually still request for a CV. So is it underrated? Is it exaggerated and overrated? No, it's not. It's very important that you have your CV, because it's basically just like a formal document that tells your employee or recruiter that, oh, see, I am this skilled and this is what I can do. So it's basically how you can package your value, package your experiences in a way that you shoot your best shots to your likely hirers. So it's so the lady that was saying all the things that you were saying, she's not here exactly. So it's a very important document, and anybody that is seriously looking for a job should actually have a CV that can market their skills. So a marketable CV, because it's not about having CV. So I don't know the quality of her CV. It's not about the quantity, because she was saying now that she has just 2 pages. So it's not about the volume. What is in your 2 pages? Because if I'm going to scan or review that CV, now I might find a lot of loopholes and a lot of missing points, and she just probably has spewed a lot of jargon. So it's not about the quality over the quantity. Yeah.
Wow, thank you very much. So what are the lies and exaggeration about CVs? And how can we manage this?
So you're asking the HR question. Oh my God. Okay, so it's not unavoidable, because people would always lie. People can easily lie on their CV, and it's not something that you can easily dictate. I'm a resume writer, so I lie for people too. I thought, right? Because they want you to just help them get the job. And when you need a job, they will always look at your work experiences, right? So the major thing is that people would always really lie. Some people, not everyone, would always really lie and over-exaggerate, hype themselves on their CV just so that they can likely, be among the top people shortlisted for that job.
Yeah.
So now, as a hiring manager, it is your job to shortlist, and that's why there's a stage after that shortlisting through CV. That's why there's an oral interview stage, because that's when I can talk to you, and then you defend those skills that you said you have, those experiences. So it's that oral interview that helps us to mitigate the exaggerations and lies that people place in their CV. That's how I can know. I've had interviews. I've had interview sessions with people. I asked one guy, says, "Oh, your CV, you said you did this and this. So how come you are saying this and that?" And I was like, it's not exactly what he means. He just means that he has experience in this, but he has also. I'm like, okay, but your CV is saying something else. So oral interview is actually the best way to find out, okay, are you lying or are you not lying? Exactly. And some people even go as far as giving tests. So yeah, that's the best way to mitigate that.
Okay, so you talk about text and oral.
Yes.
What about in terms of remote work? So how do you go about that?
Same way, because what I do, I'm majorly a remote HR manager. I don't go to. So yes, so it's same way. There are strict guidelines for it. So when we open a job, which I'm currently doing right now, when we have a job opening, of course we'll have inflow of job application.
Yes.
We select through CV. So that's why it's important that you actually have a good CV. So we'll check it out, check your skills. That skill session is the most important aspect of a CV, but people don't really understand it. People always put their skill session below their work experience. Meanwhile, the reverse should be the case. So I check through the skills because I really want to know what skill do you have, So when we've gone through that process, we will now invite you for the oral interview. And then after the oral interview, there's also my company anyways. We take you to the practical step. Okay, you say you can do this. We're not just asking you, have you done it? Now you're going to break it down for me. How did you do it? So I'm going to really ask you know-how questions, like technical know-how questions that you will never be able to lie. So I'm going to ask you, okay, you said you're a sales marketer or you're a sales executive. What steps have you taken in the past to ensure that your clients hit this mark, and what steps can you replicate in this industry as well, or in this organization? So those questions, they are not things that you can really lie. And then a way to really see through the applicant is to have a video call. So most times we always tell you, turn on your camera because we want to see your face and know if you're really lying or if you're really saying it, or you're really looking through. You know how we've already prepared for interviews that you're already written down likely questions. So we'll get you. So yeah, that's the same way for a remote work.
That's really intense and insightful. Yes. I think there is no even shortcut. There's no escape route.
Yeah.
Okay, I would love to know your journey into this CV writing. Is this what you really intended to do, or what you've always wanted to do?
Okay, so earlier before the session we had, I think I had a back session with one of the producers here, and I was saying I've done a lot of things. So when people ask me what do, I can say I do a lot of things. I'm a community manager. I used to be an SEO content writer, and then SEO content writing was basically what I started with. When I said I wanted to start, I wanted to have a skill that I could use to make money online, it was SEO content writing I started with. And then in 2022, I decided to, I decided to establish a brand, a writing firm. I just knew that not everybody had the skill or even stamina or zeal to literally pen their thoughts down in paper, and I just wanted to help wipe the bits of sweat off their faces. And I was like, okay, let me just help people. Since I can write, I could also provide these services to people, right? So that was where it started from. And it never started with resume writing initially. It was more on me still being the content writer, writing for brands, writing for individuals. Then I think that was last year, 2023, November, October there. But I spoke with Clinton Okai. If you already know him, Clinton Okai on I had a session and he was a speaker there. So I said I was going to speak to him. So we had a very, very deep conversation. And then he now made me understand that you can actually make lots of money from resume writing alone and, building your brand there on LinkedIn and a lot of that. So that was literally how I transitioned into specifically doing resume writing, because it was more profitable for me and less time demanding. Content writing will make me go into a whole lot of research, and I was even merging it with academic writing. You don't want to know about academic writing. Academic writing with the whole protocols of references, citations. So it was a whole lot for me, and I was like, I can't be investing this much time for the little I'm getting, because content writers in Nigeria are not well paid. That's why I said it's not about getting a job. It's about getting a well-paid job in Nigeria. So I was like, how will I spend hours to produce just a 500, 1,000 article? And I'm getting this. So I had to, cross my T's and dot my I's. And I was like, nah, resume writing was more profitable for me. And then the part where it now became more fulfilling was when I started putting my brand out there on LinkedIn. And then I now had to delve into career coaching. So if you'd ask me why did I actually go into career coaching, it was because I felt like beyond just resume writing, people really needed help in, being well positioned for his job. People really needed to know, okay, I have a CV, but what do I really do with this CV? I don't even know how to apply. I don't know how to put myself out there. And I don't even know how confident I can be doing an oral interview. And so I just said, okay, I'm going to be a career coach that could help people prepare well for their jobs and, throughout their career journey, just to help them be more intentional with their career growth. Because I just felt like it just came with the job. So it's been more fulfilling merging those two together.
Oh, that's really beautiful. The fact that you're making money from just CV writing. I said just, I don't know the word.
Well, it doesn't take
included.
my time, so yeah, it's so flexible.
So there are jobs actually, like just CV writing and you're making money there. That really makes sense. All right, so Fortune, what are the system and strategies you've put in place so far for your clients or for someone who is looking forward to like getting a job? What are the things you would advise them to work on to prepare them? Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing I always really, really advise people that are looking for a job is to do it the unconventional way. Start by building your brand online, because I feel like there is a plethora of opportunities online, but many people don't just have they don't just know how to tap into all of those things. So I always tell people that people will never know how skilled you are when you're sitting in your room and you're not putting yourself out there in their faces every day, every time, constantly saying, hi, this is a value that I can offer. So I always tell people that come to me, especially during discovery calls, that you really need to pay attention to building your brand online. It's not a cliche. It's not something that everybody's saying. It's maybe because everybody's saying it because it's important.
Yes.
Because that's how brands that you can offer value to can see that, oh, this person is skilled, or this person has been putting out themselves there, and I think I want to just work with this person. So I always start with the job positioning, so which I really tag as personal branding. You putting your brand online. So that's the first thing I always like people to. And I'm not saying online as per just LinkedIn, even though I would always recommend LinkedIn. I'm saying first of all, you need to understand, what is my goal? What do I intend to achieve, right? Am I coming out here because I need a job or because I just want to be able to freelance? So you understand your goal first, and then you now understand the platform that best suits your goal. So is it LinkedIn? Is it TikTok? Is it Twitter? So I'm not going to exactly shove it to your mouth that say, just be on LinkedIn now. So you choose what you want. But the most important thing, if you're really, really serious about, getting jobs and making people literally see you, like see how skilled you are, you need to consider putting your brand out there. So that's the first thing.
Okay, putting your brand out there. What about people that don't have the platform to put out their jobs? And they're really good at what they do. What are the things that is expected of them in their CV? In their CV.
So if you don't put yourself out there, I'm actually puzzled to know how in the first place did you find that opportunity that you are applying for. But I mean, if your question is how do they present themselves in their CV, like I said, your CV is literally like a formal proposal. No, I would say it's a formal document that literally explicitly states to your hirers that this is what you are skilled in. So I'm just saying put yourself out there because it's a bonus, but you can still get a job with a good CV and with the right defense and everything, all of the processes if you tick all of them. So I'm saying that yes, you can actually get the CV and have a CV rather, even if you don't do anything remotely or even if you don't have an online presence, you can actually build your CV without that, as long as you have job experiences. So however you get those experiences, let them still reflect in your CV that this is the thing, these are the things that you have done so far, right? So yeah.
Wow. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Okay, let's talk about finding opportunities or going into when I say greener pastures, because a lot of people have seen, I don't know, we have been talking about Nigeria a lot. Or okay, let's say Africa. They believe that okay, to make it in life or in a career wise or anything you want to do, there is this upper hand in the international aspect. So what is your own take about people looking for greener pastures?
Working abroad.
Yeah.
Anthony. Okay. For me, I just feel like personally, maybe this is going to be literally a personal opinion.
Yeah.
Personally, I do not feel it's a necessity to, like, I don't think greener pastures is only when you are out there working abroad. I feel like even in Nigeria, you can still have that greener pasture. Yeah. Have you ever wondered why those celebrities and top politicians are not based there? Why are they coming back to Nigeria? Because you can earn more while you are here in Nigeria too. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to now migrate over to an entirely different country just because you want. And I feel like it comes with a whole lot of a whole lot of bills and a whole lot of downsides that we don't really see. Because working over there, you'd have to still think about the high cost of accommodation, the utility bills. They literally pay for everything. That's why it's a very, very important thing to consider while thinking about working abroad as the only green pastures there is. So I feel like working remotely is really, really the way forward, because I can be here in my room and I'm earning in dollars, I'm earning in pounds, and I'm earning in euros. So why do I have to go over there and then the whole hassles? And so that's my...
I really love that. I once had that mentality also, that okay, once you're done with school, just jackpot, that jackpot symposium of a thing. And I just feel like maybe people are not aware enough that okay, you can actually make it here in even where you are, instead of going abroad. All right, thank you very much for that insightful answer. So let's talk about remote work, because you've been talking about remote work. Okay, remote work has become the norm, and people see that okay, it's less stressful, and they see it as freedom. Is that actually true?
Well, yes. If I'm gonna be calling a spade, yes, it's true. But remote work also comes with its own demerits. Yeah.
Okay.
So, if we're gonna put it on a scale, the merits outweigh the demerits. So, but yes, is it freedom? Yes. And I'm gonna share my experience now. So, why I feel like it's freedom, for me personally, it is freedom, please. Because I had a very, very terrible experience working on site, and I vowed in my eyes I was never ever going to work for anybody, like going to work. It was my internship, funnily enough. It was not even a real time work, but it was just my internship, and it just exposed me to how toxic and how demanding and stressful and on-site work can be. Nigerian, oh God, so sorry to be saying this, but Nigerian organizations can demand a whole lot from you, and then at the end of the day, they are paying you peanuts. So my internship stressed the hell out of me. Every time I was waking up by 6:30, every time we were going to work from Mondays to Saturdays. We don't observe public holidays, nothing of that sort, even as an intern. So it just exposed me to the work life, and I was like, nah, I don't want this. I'm really not going to. And to think of it, to even think, oh, okay, after everything and after all the whole stress, the salary would pay up for nothing. I was literally even using my own personal money from my remote work to balance my tea fare. So I'm like, so it just changed my mindset, and it just made me see that remote work is really, really so much, much better than, for me, I'll say anyway, that remote work is much better than having an on-site job. But then it comes with its downsides, like I was about to say. So yes, so if you're a remote worker, this is the part where people don't really see. So as a remote worker, it takes a lot for you to now develop work discipline. Because now you're in your house, nobody's monitoring you. Then I had consistent cameras looking and staring at us in the eye. They were like, every time you're eating in the lab, then, because it was lab, yeah. So anytime I was eating or talking with my colleagues, then they're like, camera is looking at you and all of that. That just puts you in check. But working from home is way different. That's what I'm saying is freedom, because now nobody's really staring at you in the face, looking at you. And so, but it takes a whole lot for you to maintain that work discipline. As a HR that I currently am, I battle with so many of my team players that don't understand when work is work and when there's pleasure aside. So it takes a whole lot to maintain that work discipline. And also, there's another thing that comes with remote working, which is the aspect of actually the fundings, because you'll be at home, and if there's no light, the cost of you being technically available, you have to go and buy it, you have to go and hustle for fuel. But when you're working on site, you don't need to think about all of those stress. So it comes with that as well. And then I think that many times too, many remote workers, they mistake overplace business for productivity. So you can be literally busy thinking you're working, but you're wasting your time, and you're really not doing anything. So you might not actually be productive. And so it sort of develops into a bad habit. So I'm literally trying to see how this thing is psychological, because you are home all day and you feel like you're busy pressing your system, but you're not doing work. You're just busy doing nothing. And then oftentimes it becomes a bad habit for you. And it became a bad habit for me. Maybe that's what I'm saying. It became a bad habit for me, because I was always telling my siblings that I'm busy. I'm not busy. Like, I'm not productive. It's not getting me what I want. Is it getting me results? That's when it's productive, right? So I feel like most remote workers have that out balance, because you think you're productive, you think you're busy, but you're not, and then it sort of reflects in your personal life. And then remote work too could also affect your work ethics, like I was trying to illustrate, because you don't know how it is done in a professional workspace. When you're not exposed to one, you don't have to act because you've never been in one. And God, my friend, I've seen a lot of it. I'm like, hello, do you understand that this is, I know we are chatting on WhatsApp, but this is a work discussion here, and I have to call them to order before they understand that, I'm sorry. So it's a whole lot that comes with remote, a lot of benefits, rather, and there are still some downsides that we really don't take note of.
Yeah, but nevertheless,
it's always good to be here. Exactly.
All right, okay. Can you help us with some proven ways job seekers can acquire high-paying jobs seamlessly?
Emphasis on high-paying jobs.
Yes.
Definitely. Okay, so I think during the podcast, I already mentioned a lot about the personal brand and phrases, because that's a very, very, very powerful. And if I'm going to mention it again, I'm not going to be over-emphasizing, because it's so important. That's the way even foreigners, even people with even people that are not within your locality can literally see your work, right? So I'm going to still mention another aspect beyond just building an online presence, and that's networking. And that's a very underrated aspect of putting your own self out there, or also in a way to get jobs, rather. So networking is a very, very important skill that people don't even know is also needed online. It's not just offline. People feel like networking is just when you can go to events. Whenever you think of networking, it has to be going to events. And no, it's not just going to events and speaking with people. Fathers won't have that. Let's be honest. That's way harder.
Yes,
so how about you networking online? What are you doing to connect to people that can literally, see you and then employ you? So what I mean by networking, this is a very practical thing. So you, for instance, now you are a what? A host, and then you compare, right? Yeah. So you host programs and events for people, and that's basically what you do. So in your case, if you really want to see jobs and you want to see people that can literally work with you and pay you well, now this is where the networking comes in, and I think I would call it job positioning, right? So you go to use a platform. So if you're using TikTok, if you're using, I don't know, I think I would say, for instance, Instagram. Yeah. So you're going to go to Instagram and you're going to have a research done, right? The aim of your research is for you to see people that you can connect with. That can literally, either you're learning from and you're learning their ways of life, and you're learning how, if a situation approaches or if an opportunity approaches, like they say, opportunity meets the prepared. You know how to approach these guys more. You know how to network with them. You know how to shoot your shot in their DM. So you take a list of top people that you'd want to work for, top organizations, and then you just keep checking trends. You just keep checking up on what they do, and then you could just shoot them a shot on Instagram or wherever DM, whatever platform you're using, and tell them, this is an opportunity that I see. This is a problem I can solve, and this is how I can put myself here to solve it, if you do not mind. And that's basically a form of networking, but it's otherwise called outbound marketing. So networking is just beyond the physical one-to-one. I see you in an event thing. So that's a very, very super effective method also to get high-paying jobs, aside from putting yourself out there. And I spoke a lot about this in my upcoming book, which is Skill Mind Toolkit. So I had an event that was in May. I wanted to help creatives. This same question. I wanted to help creatives, understand how to put themselves out there, understand how to market themselves, understand how to monetize their skills with and without a job, or with or without a job. So the aim of Skill Mind was basically to help creatives do more with their skills. That's why I said Skill Mind. So the theory behind it was basically mining skills. You know how you mine gold?
Yes.
So basically, I had to write a book because I felt like it was beyond the session and the program I had. It was not enough to explain the intricacies of literally trying to monetize it. Because the aim is actually for you to monetize your skills. Whether you're getting a job or whether you're not getting it, you just want to put food on your table with the skills that you have. So this is what I did with the Skill Mind Toolkit, which is my upcoming book. I spoke a lot about how you can make money from your skills, and I spoke about the 20 money making strategies that could help you earn more for your skills. Exactly. So I'm talking about the online personal branding and then networking. Those are the two strategies I just mentioned in answering your question.
Wow. What's the name of the book again?
Skill Mind Toolkit. That's
Skill Mind Toolkit. I love that. When I asked you the question, okay, I pay jobs, I was expecting you to actually talk about branding primarily.
Yeah.
But the fact that you talk about networking, I'm like, okay, how does networking affect this? And the fact that you not took us to okay, there is a physical networking and there is a virtual networking. Am I right? And yeah, that brought me. I remember the first job I got, hosting events like this. I actually met the person on LinkedIn, and we just met of recent, and I thought of it that was the network, and it's actually paid off.
Exactly.
So physical networking and virtual networking.
Tend to forget that they can also take it online. So just accumulate.
Yes,
they're not telling it. So
I feel the virtual one works better because some people are kind of
especially when
work
you
up.
So if you watch us, that's your sense, then you know where you're.
So all of us things to get an high-paying job is the steps we need, the skills we need to do all this are instilled in this book of yours, right?
Yes. Very much detailed.
Let me sorry, what's the title of the book again?
Skill Mind, like a skill and then mind, like you're mining your skill, then to go, like then that's the concept. Skill Mind Toolkit.
Wow,
and that's toolkit because it was a follow-up after the Skill Mind program. So I'm like, this is your toolkit, literally.
All right, viewers, you've heard it. Skill Mind took it. You see, she just gave us the just the snippet of what's in the book, and I feel like it's loaded, so it's advisable you get it. You can follow her on LinkedIn if you want to get it at Gabriel Fortune. So when are you launching the book?
Okay, so the book will be launched on the 28th of this month of July. Yeah.
So you guys can mark your calendar and make sure you buy. All right, let's talk about AI. Do you think AI has been useful and helpful?
Yeah, I think it has. And I don't go for AI will displace a lot of creatives out there. I think AI would only displace creatives who have not understood how to exactly utilize AI. So if you don't know how to use AI to even fine-tune your work and polish your work, that is when you can actually be replaced. So, but AI is actually such a helpful. It makes work so much easier. And then I just feel like it's a tool that can help you do better, especially when you already know what you want to do. But in a way, I think it also has its disadvantages in the sense of, well, I just still feel like it depends on whose hand it is in. So if you're using AI and you're a creative that is not so skilled, it's going to still do so much bad because you will now become reliant on it, and it just will mess with your creativity. Exactly. So that's the only aspect I feel like, okay, AI might can do some bad to anybody that is using it. But otherwise, especially when you already know what you are doing, AI is such a good tool. Yeah.
Well, I love the fact that you mentioned that it will only affect you when you've not fine-tuned your work. So a lot of people are scared that, AI is taking over. If you're not careful, you're going to lose your job. Yeah.
And they're ignorant. They don't know how to use AI like in a way that. But I'm not saying it's something that we should depend on, right? But it's something that if you need to use it, then use it intelligently. There's something I've heard somewhere, and I like to quote it. AI is only as intelligent as the user. So the way I would use AI to get me the prompts I want, depends on the way you'd use it, and that just shows the degree at which you know what you're doing. So that's something it's helpful too.
Yeah. All right. So what is your generative AI tool?
I just use ChatGPT. I don't do anything complex, and I even use there's a new one they started with on WhatsApp. Meta AI. Exactly. So that's just I just ask basic questions because I don't need it for any. I already know what I do.
All right. Okay. So let's go to the juicy parts. Like I said, that you're looking fresh. God. So, how much have you made so far in your space?
Okay. So, will I say? Should I give exact figures?
Yeah. We'll love that. We would love that actually.
So I think. Let me just say on a monthly basis, I don't make anything less than 200 to 250K just with resume writing. I don't make anything less than that. Then other things that I do, so that one is not fixed. But for my resume writing, which is mainly what I do, I don't make anything less than 200 to 250K because I get about an average of 11 clients
monthly.
And the most I've gotten is like 21 clients.
Wow, that's a lot. Okay, so do you think if you had ventured into another career entirely, would you make as much as you're making right now?
Entering into another career, not exactly another career.
Yeah.
But yes, I think yes. Would you compare the salary of a front end engineer to what that? So definitely, when you venture into fields, you can definitely earn more. So I'm currently trying to even transition into Web3. So become a Web3 community manager or even writer. So it just depends on which one I'm going for. But yes, so yeah, there are still opportunities that can pay you more. So why not?
All right, so you can start
You can meet yourself.
Resume writer. Don't limit yourself.
Wow.
Well, I actually feel like this session can be going on because I'm learning a lot. Maybe I'll consider being a resume writer. I want to be. I want to become
It's very easy. I don't want. It's so flexible. 2 hours.
You're done.
I'm done, and I'm getting how much for what I would have got.
It's looking so juicy.
Things wrong, but I'm not saying you should just that we have space. Don't mind.
All right. So what would you advise a newbie or a starter that is still looking forward, to carve down to a niche or to start up their career journey? What is your advice for our listeners?
To cut down
To carve down a niche,
yes.
yeah?
So I had a session last night, and it was titled Sip and Spill.
Yeah.
So basically it was a session for creatives to come ask questions regarding career, and somebody spoke about this thing, and I'm just going to reiterate what we spoke about during the session. So we spoke about a lot of creatives needing to for a reason for them to understand their why. Because that's where it all begins. Really, 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 why are you doing what you're doing? Okay, you want to be in this field, you want to go into crypto, you want to go into Web3, you want to build a brand on LinkedIn, you want to go into writing. Why are you doing? Are you doing it because it's trendy? Are you doing it because you just need to just pay bills? What exactly is your why? And is your why strong enough to keep you moving in that? Because you definitely experience hassles, you definitely experience stumbles. So what is going to keep you going is your why, and I mean like your strong why. So for anyone currently watching this session, I'm going to really say, please try to understand for yourself what your reason is. Why exactly are you going to be doing anything you're going to be doing? So I'll say my advice to anyone is find out your why. And that's the bedrock, that's the foundation of anything that you want to build on. You know how they say the foundation is not strong. So I'm not going to say what can righteous, but definitely you would build and it's going to be so shaky. That's why people can be easily swayed by this and that. They're like, I joined this, but it's not working, so I think I will join this, and I'm joining. So that's the reason, because they don't just understand what exactly they want for themselves. They don't understand their why. So if you figured out that, and how you can do it is basically, undergoing your self-discovery. So I really tell people a lot of, especially undergraduate, before you start thinking of, after school, and first, have you discovered really, really what you like? Because I studied chemistry and I'm not even mixing chemicals in the lab. I've done that. I'm still even thinking of getting that MBA. So what's my business? So it's really, really important that you undergo that self-discovery first. Don't worry, the money would come, right? But you really need to learn about yourself before you can learn about any other thing properly and efficiently. Yeah. So I'd say find your why.
Yes,
my advice to any creative. And then once you've done that, once you've answered the fundamental questions, what are your goals? What are your ambitions? What are your desires? What is your reason for doing whatever you're doing? And then who are you out there to help? What is going to be your unique selling proposition? What is going to be the trigger for you? Like, what's going to tell you, okay, yes, this is where I've hit it, or this, what is going to define your success? What's going to give you a sense of fulfillment? So currently, what gives me a sense of fulfillment is the fact that I help people discover themselves. I help people on their career journey. I help people with their career growth. And that's just something that's so fulfilling for me.
Yeah.
So what's going to, at that point in your career, say, okay, yes, you know what, you're doing a good job, and this is what. So I'll say find your why. And when you've done that, when you've done all of the background checks and all the underground works, you can now kick it off with building a presence. I've said this, building a presence like so many times, but it's important. Personal branding is so, so important. So yes, so for any creative that is looking out there, and then you spoke about niching. So let me just hit that a little. So I'd advise any entry level person not to niche down too fast, because there's always a temptation to, I want to be an SEO writer and I want to just niche down into tech, I want to niche down into health. Don't be too fast, because you would need to test the waters. That field you're going into, is it profitable for you? Is it something you'd really enjoy doing, or are you doing it because everybody else is doing it, or they said this is what is trendy? So you just read. That's why I'm still saying, understand your why. Who are you? What do you like doing? What's your strength? Where your weaknesses and all of that sort. So if you're going to niche down, you would niche down, but however, do not be too fast. Yeah, so test the waters first.
One thing that stood out from what you just said is find your why, because I wanted to ask you that, okay, because I was trying to put myself in the space of the listeners. When you say find your why, I feel like I'll ask, how can I find my why? But you answered the question. You said we shouldn't carve down a niche yet. Just because you're starting up, you don't say you want to become an SEO. Okay, so are you saying we should test at least a bit of everything? Then
don't test a bit of everything. All right, necessarily need to test it. You might become a Confucianist, but what I'm saying is that make sure you've made your adequate research on almost everything like you can lay your hands on. Don't just go into one field ignorantly, because then you can easily be swayed and say, I thought this one was more profitable. Okay, let me go into this one. Oh, I'm now here. I don't think it's more fulfilling. Okay, so you really need to know, okay, if you're going to be into any field, and I'm not even streamlining it down to a particular, but any field at all, which one would you, if you're going to niche down, which of these niches you feel is going to be more fulfilling for you? Fulfilling in terms of your self-accomplishment, your definition of success, and then profitability. So yeah, those three things.
All right. I don't know why I still feel so, but let me just clear the air.
Yeah.
I was having the discussion with someone, I went for a conference. I think so. And I think I was the one that asked the question. I told the person that at this stage of my life, I'm growing, and I have a lot of interest in let's say in the public speaking space. And in the public speaking space, there are lots of niches. We have the compare, we have the spoken word poets, we have a lot of niches on that. So I was asking, how can I know the one I really wanted? And the person told me, you can at least try each of it out, then you know the one you genuinely like, the one you feel like, okay, you do with ease. So that was what brought me to the question.
Contradicts that, because sometimes research will not do it all. Like, you need to really test it out. You need to check, okay, which one do I feel I am better at, especially in your case where you really need to practice all those things. You need to practice being a compare, you need to practice being a spoken word artist to really know, okay, would I prefer this? Do I prefer speaking in front of real people, or just being behind camera in my room and just doing spoken word artistry and the rest? So yes, testing the waters can also work, but please, before you start test the water, please endeavor to still make your research about so that you can make a well-informed decision. Yeah.
I get that. Thank you very much for this session. Like I said, it's really insightful. I learned a lot. One of the things that stood out for me is the why, is the CV, we talked about the exaggeration part, the lies, and you're able to bring us to the part whereby you gave us practical ways in which you can find out if these people are actually exaggerating or they are lying. And that was really insightful. Thank you for honoring our invitation. It's nice having you here, Fortune. Thank you for joining us on the Network Tech and Wealth podcast, and thank you for tuning in to the end. Don't forget to like, subscribe on our YouTube channel, and leave down your comments. We would love to hear you. We would love to know your thoughts. And remember, wealth and tech works hand in hand, and we are here to help you navigate through that journey. I am Miriam Adegbola, your neighborhood tech guide and your host for this episode. Signing off.